Marc Rosset. He's big and he's powerful, but for every second he's been on court, the camera is focused solely on Boris Becker, the most charismatic man in the game today still. This will be their 7th meeting. Rosset, in fact, has got a good record against him. It's tied at 3-all. Becker's been here since the weekend. In fact, we're going to have a look now at a part of an exhibition match he had on Sunday for families in need. He and Yannick Noah taking on Michael Stick and Alex Antonich, and it was quite fun. Boris Becker and Yannick Noah against Stick and Antonich, although for a while there you couldn't work out who was playing with who. But it was a sellout crowd and thousands raised for families in need. Very different today, the last quarter-final. I know a lot of you coming in from work all the time want to be kept up to date with what's been happening. Well, Arno Birch is through. He beat Evgeny Kafelnikov. And Jan Simmerink has beaten Stefan Edberg. At the bottom of the draw, the winner of this will play the winner of Todd Martin and the number 2 seed, Goran Ivanisevic. 3-all is the head-to-head, as I said. The last meeting was in the World Team Cup on clay earlier this year. Their only meeting this year. Rosset won it, straight sets, but Boris was injured, one of the many injuries he's had this year, and he didn't, in fact, play in the World Team Cup after that. So you may feel that there's not too much to be read on that. Indoors, last time they met, Paris indoor, that was significant a couple of years ago. Quarter-final, Rosset won it, 2 tie-break sets. Becker, the number 5 seed, ranked 7 in the world, but ranked 12 in the world this year. What I mean by this year, there's points accrued this year. He wants to be in the top 8 for Hanover, so he'll be happy he's doing well here, but wants to advance all the time. Still a chance he can make the top 8, but he's got to get that winning habit and keep it. He's only won 1 match since Wimbledon before coming here because of the wrist injury, which has been pretty severe. And Rosset, ranked 25, living now in Monte Carlo. Big server. Quarter-finalist here in 1993. 10 titles to his credit. Last wins in Nice and Halle. Finalist this year in Milan. Quarter-finalist in New Haven. But has been in a pretty lukewarm form in the last few weeks until coming here. Then a very strong win against Wayne Ferreira in the opening round. And then Andre Medvedev squeezed out 6-4 in the 3rd set in the 2nd.
Yes, not a match I saw, the match against Ferreira, but a big win for Rosset, and evidently some really outstanding tennis in the 2nd set of that match, which he won in the tiebreaker. They play quite a few tiebreakers whenever they meet these two, and one can understand why, with the big serve tending to dominate. And that might well be the case on this court. If the serves function well, it's going to be really pretty difficult to return. No doubt that all in all, Becker is a better returner than is Rosset.
Becker through to the quarter-final, but with no great conviction. Beat Mark Woodford 6-4 in the 3rd set, and then an anticlimactic match against Michael Stick. It had been such a pandemonium for Muster and Edberg that it was very much after the Lord Mayor's show. And Becker still says he doesn't feel completely right on the wrist. Where it hurts most is when he has to play the first volley. If the returns hit fiercely back at him, he has to hit the first volley. And he feels that he's just not too secure on it, doesn't give it too much. Mike De Palma on the left there, his coach. But Becker says he doesn't still feel right. He's still very much a learning process of getting back into top form.
Well, he's doing a good job of hiding his discomfort anyway. Certainly no visible signs of pain from Becker. I imagine he's got a pretty high pain threshold. And interesting that it should be on the first volleys.
The introduction then for both men. Here's the one for Rosset.
Wir begrüßen die Nummer 25 der ATP-Computerweltrangliste aus der Schweiz, Marc Rosset.
10 titles for Rosset. 36 fewer than the man the other side of the net.
Had a good win in the first round, the doubles, Rosset. He and Gaudenzi knocked out the top seeds, Elting and Haarhuis, but it was short-lived because they lost to another Dutchman, Menno Oosting and Wisner of Czechoslovakia, or Czech Republic, in the second round.
Bei der ATP-Weltmeisterschaft in Frankfurt holt sich bereits seinen zweiten Titel. Und bei den Australian Open gewann seinen insgesamt 6. Grand Slam-Titel. Der dreifache Wimbledon-Sieger und die ehemalige Nummer 1 des Welttennis blieb bei 46 ATP-Turnieren im Einzel erfolgreich. Den letzten Titel sicherte sich heuer in Queens mit einem Finalsieg über Edberg. Eine Handgelenksverletzung zwang ihn heuer gerade in Wimbledon zur Aufgabe. Bei der CA-Trophäe startete er ein Comeback und kam in dieses Viertelfinale durch jeweils 3 Satzsiege über den Australier Woodford und seinen Landsmann Stich. Wir begrüßen die Nummer 7 der ATP-Computerweltrangliste und die Nummer 5 der CA-Trophäe aus Deutschland, Boris Becker.
Still just about the biggest draw in European sport. Michael Schumacher is rapidly becoming a rival, but I don't think he's quite overtaken Boris yet. Dan LeConte from Alabama in charge here.
No, and of course just as well to remember that it is the German world. It may be Austrian, but Becker is much a fan really across the border here. And I suppose if they can't have Muster, they may as well have Becker. That win over Stech will have done him no end of good.
Yes, he was playing it down. Like he heard you there, Fru.
Yes.
Nodded his head just as you said that.
My apologies, sir.
But I think it would have. He was playing it down, just an ordinary match, you know, respect Michael, great player. We're just feeling our way back. It doesn't mean an awful lot. But I think when it got down to the nitty-gritty, he was very happy to have won it.
Yes, and he was certainly more gritty than nitty, which he usually is in those circumstances.
Best of 3 tie-break sets. The winner to meet either Todd Martin or Goran Ivanisevic.
Name is last pitcher. Thank you. Sleep quickly.
People racing back after the little bit of hospitality.
Rosset will be hoping that he can, like Stich, break Becker. Stich broke him twice in the match.
The shootout begins. Rosset very sharp early on. Moving well for a man who's 6'6". Cracking volley. So real sharpness from both men here at the beginning. And Becker takes his opening. Here in the Stadthalle in Vienna, Marc Rosset of Switzerland, love one, opening set against Boris Becker.
Well, that forehand apart, I must say the first signs are that Rosset is in good shape for this match. Up for it mentally. He struck a few good backhands. He normally doesn't hit that many in a match. One good two-handed return, one nice one-hander. I think it's a shot that, above all else, holds Rosset back from a steady tread somewhere near the top of the tennis ladder.
But that could be the difference between the two, the return.
Yes, because Becker on both sides can make really good returns, whereas Rosset unusually or usually will miss on the backhand side. And even on the forehand, where he's so dangerous in a rally, not quite the threat on the return of serve.
Excellent rally. This is a much better start than the Becker against Stick match.
Well, there it is again, the one-hander, the second good one we've seen from Rosset. Perhaps he's going to be playing from here on with a lot more one-handers.
It's a break point for Becker in the opening Rosset service game. Barbara, able to watch at the moment. It gets too exciting. It's just as the mind transparents. Drew's a big believer in that. Talk you through it later. a bad miss.
Awful shot, because the two-hander falling so short. Looking a gift horse in the mouth.
First serve is so important. So Rosset survives the mini scare, and he's back level.
Just got a massive forehand. You can see the Western grip. It's amazing how flat he can end up hitting it, or how hard he can eventually hit it with that grip. Really is a weapon and a half. You can see the head of the racket almost parallel to the ground as he begins his swing.
Well, there are moments where he does look the most athletic human being that God ever made, but he does well. He's 6 foot, amazing 6'6". In fact, he's 6'7".
Yes, I've often likened him to a giraffe because of his height. It's no disrespect to him. But as I've also maintained, they can move pretty quickly too. And Rosset surprisingly fast.
No.
191 Ks. Second ace. Good serving, Boris. And looks to have found a bit more snap than he did yesterday. Two-one. Yes, Marc Rosset's looked sharp early on, but Becker's come out a lot more focused than he did early on against Michael Stick. It was a fairly average start to that match. This is promising to be an awful lot better.
Yes, he's not overawed at all, is he, Rosset? There's no doubt about that. And of course, that record against Becker is the reason why.
One-two. There's us. ORF, the host broadcaster. That's Marc Rosset's first ace.
struck 27 so far this week, as opposed to Ivanisevic's 37.
And news of big service. If you didn't watch Eurosport News, the Sports Centre, Greg Rosetsky, congratulations to him. He's through to the semi-final in Beijing.
Again, good footwork there. The ball hit by Becker directly at him, but he had to move quickly to get out of the way to make room for the shot.
Just wide. Another centimetre, and he'd have got some of that centre line. But who cares with a second serve like that? There's brave.
Yes, I'm very pleasantly surprised, I think, with Becker just popping it back right at him. Just about the right height, Becker. Thank you very much.
Yes, had to be careful. Any part of that gigantic frame touching the net in the process of hitting the shot. It's Becker's point. Lucky.
Yes, I think it must be one of the infuriating things playing Rosset. You know he's got a much weaker backhand, but every now and again he'll sneak one in with a miss hit. You don't mind if he hits it right in the sweet spot.
Well, they're both peppering that centre line. Third ace for the German. Tennis, as well as being a sport, is big business, of course, and the marketing people will be hoping that Becker wins this. They've had two good matches today, but for them, the wrong people have won. Simmering beating Edberg and Birch beating Kafelnikov. They want Becker here.
Yes, it seemed in, and such a late call.
It felt like an afterthought.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yes. Piece of his mind. But he didn't make that return. Rosset did.
And there must be just something about Becker that really inspires Rosset.
It's a break point. His first. Oh. And still more abuse for the line judge. He was fairly subdued yesterday against Stick, keeping everything under wraps, but now just a little bit more uneasy. But that was one heck of a second serve.
It was, yes. Still a shot that Rosset ought to have made. I suppose the difference really is that Stich is such a different character. Rosset quite explosive himself. Becker tried to keep every emotion against Stich out of sight.
Yes, it was a subdued evening. Tonight promises not to be. Second break point. Subdued evening when Becker and Stick took the court, that was.
Well, Rosset looking very surprised that Becker should play as good a shot as this, but he should know that Becker's a great rider of those. He really uses the pace well, and that's his stock volley, that backhand down the line. He won't often go cross court.
So after saving the 2 break points, chance for Becker to go 3-2 here. Oh yes. Sudden jerk back to get himself out of the way. But a good start. What should be an excellent battle. 3-2. Marc Rosset. Some quite bonny form at the moment. Curious character. Sometimes he can get a bit headstrong. But then his opponent's been known for that too, certainly in past years. But both of them are the most articulate of tennis players. Neither gives the pat answer, everything is reasoned. Rosset would surprise, perhaps more than Becker. Becker might be a little bit more illuminating.
Well, he's just hurrying Becker here, and of course this is a good thing to do. Becker not the fastest man on 2 legs. Get into him quickly, and that forehand is the shot that'll do it. Nowhere near the pace on the backhand. He was wide.
My instincts were that he was wide, yeah. And very difficult for Dano Lecanto to overrule, even if it was a fraction wide. Boris wants to have a look up at the screen, and obligingly, no, can't see it from there. But Boris will see what he wants to see.
Inconclusive. Not proven.
Boris is having a real battle battle with the line judge, service line judge. And that look was especially for him.
Yes, as if to say, if you were in doubt about my strong right arm, watch this. Massive strength. That was a Lou Hode shot.
And there's another strong right arm.
Yes, and Becker, of course, was likened to Hode early on in his career, but Hode, who died last year, still for me the greatest ever on a given day. Sadly inconsistent.
So at his best, you'd back him against anyone?
Anyone that I've seen, yes. Even Lever. And I think he would have spun Becker around his little finger.
Given the same equipment?
Yeah. I exaggerate that only because you're a great Becker fan.
Yes. It hurt.
Well, something to look dreamy-eyed about, and if Marc Rosset could play these backhands all day long and all night long, he'd have a starry look in his eye as well.
Seems to be Rosset's instincts are to cover the backhand most of the time.
Oh, yes. Dead right. He knows where he's weaker.
Now Rosset wants to look up and see a replay.
I bet he doesn't get it. Becker does. It's sort of par for the course. Becker will get it. Rosset won't.
Becker will get you if you carry on like this.
The laughter is because of the way the ball girl just accepts it in a butterfly net.
Yes. Clinical volley. Becker at his very best. And he leads 4-3. It's with serve so far in the first set. Here in the Stadthalle, midway through the first set of the last quarter-final. Reminder, you can see both semi-finals live here on Eurosport tomorrow, and the final also live. With serve so far. So another who wants to have a good look at the balls and pick out ones he wants. Yes, when I said last of the quarterfinals, it's the last of the quarterfinals you'll see. We do have other program on Eurosport apart from tennis. Got a bit of the luck that Stefan Edberg had in the last match, so we won't see Martin against Ivan Isvich.
Very seldom a straightforward serve volley at Rosset. Like Kafelnikov, much happier really to play the ball once it bounces. Of course, he'd rather he didn't have to play it at all after the serve, and very often doesn't.
First double fault of the match. Yes, glorious shot.
Well, Becker gave himself the opportunity of going either way on this by getting there quickly, and very difficult really for Rosset to pick which way he was going to hit it. He is very often a great backhand down the line player.
That's a big serve. Does the trick, and it's 4 games each.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people will be thinking tiebreaker already. But there are 2 dangerous returners out here, at least particularly this man. And Rosset on the second serve, much more of a threat.
And if it does go to a tiebreaker, Rosset is the boy. It's won 4 of the 5 tiebreakers that they've had. Prone to exaggeration. You like the serve. Get the feeling that he's much more relaxed out there today, although the emotions are nearer the surface. So much was under wraps against Stich. And again, that brute of a second serve. Just overcooked it, his first double.
He started off well against Stich in that department, then second set, double faults crept in.
But the fourth ace does the trick. It's 5-4. Rosset will be serving to stay in the set when you come back. Yes, must have been a footballer before tennis took complete control. I think he was 12, 13 years old when he decided finally that tennis was the life. Four-five. Rosset says to Becker it was out. It must have been only fractionally, but he's a very fair sporting guy, is Rosset, so we'll take that. The players love him. He's different, but always fair.
I think there's a bit of the James Dean about Rosset. A rebel without a cause sometimes as far as authorities are concerned, but appealing to his peers and some of the masses.
Yes, although he wasn't really balanced out, he's got such an enormous wingspan, hasn't he, that he's able to get it even though the footwork's not right at all. It's an ugly volley.
Yes, you're right about wingspan. Probably have to think of another analogy when it comes to wildlife, condor or something. And he's likely to go for something quite big here.
Yeah. Smacked it brilliantly. So it's not just break point now, it's set point.
And this is the reason why he needed to go for something big. He knew that this was always beckoning.
Needs the first serve here. Well, it was close. I'm not sure it was out. Very, very close. On replay, it looks all right.
Yes, I didn't see that, and I certainly didn't see it as Becker went to play it right down under us. But that's not the one in issue. He knew that was out.
No, that is definitely out, but it's the one on the baseline. On the replay, looked to me like it was okay.
Yep, looks in there.
Very, very close.
Barring the error of parallax.
Yeah, it's tough to see from that angle, but what you know is it's pretty difficult to overrule, even if it was a fraction out. Set point saved, anyway. That was pretty close too. Very quick call. Was it too quick?
No, it was out.
But no replay of it. Set point number 2. Can't take too much more of this. Well played. I think Rosset put off by the distraction to his left. And he's got to concentrate hard here. Here's the third set point for Becker.
Interesting that Becker should have approached to the forehand side of Rosset, but perhaps figuring that he would reduce the angle. Had he gone cross court, there would have been more.
Well done. Has to change the racket though.
Oh, Lee, I would try and hang on to this racket if I possibly could. Backhand down the line on set point.
We accept that from Becker, but not from Rosset.
Rosset.
Good judgment. Very well played. Rode the tiger there. Five all. And there's the dubious call. It, yeah, on second look there, it does look like it was out, but very close, and maybe too close to overrule. Fifth ace. So he will feel that he's winning the set for the second time. And some way to go if any return like that is going to be repeated.
Well, Rosset to his left tonight has really been an eye-opener.
He's got that serve from the deuce caught out wide, going nicely now.
Yes, and if you've got the feel from the right court, why not try and apply it from the left court?
Sure. Four aces in the game, a second serve there. And he's forgotten all about the dubious call. And all credit to him for that. 6-5, 6 points more he's gained overall, but the rest of the stats remarkably level.
Yes, the difference in points matching the difference in aces, and that's just about it.
Becker's had a greater number of chances, though, to break 4-2. And he's had 3 set points. Feels he should have won the set by now.
Thank you.
But Rosset steps up for the second time to serve to stay in it. Well, he was determined to get in. Perhaps on reflection, it would have been better just to wait and let it bounce.
Yes, he was never going to get there in time. In time to make it easy, that is.
Well read and well played.
Yes, and I think he learned from Becker's mistake in the previous point. He made up his mind to get off the ground a bit sooner, to start his travels a little earlier. Even so, lovely deft touch. And Rosset low down on the backhand is not normally very good on the volley.
So 3 points here to take us into a tiebreaker. Excellent pick up on the return.
Yes, Becker returning like Agassi there. Whose tennis he respects so enormously.
So it's tie-break time. No breaks.
Well, could be a case of Mike de Palma will realise it. Incidentally, he's the only one who's the first person to break the trend in the Becker camp. All his coaches' names began with B. His wife's name begins with B.
Valid way to start.
Yeah, second serves could be important because both of them will be looking to penalise their opponents with them, and also to try and prevent massive returns. Ground shots may well stand out.
Well, the radar gun's gone off, but that was cracked.
Yes, typically when we wanted most. Not that I think Rossetski's in danger, but you never know.
But it's mighty quick, you can be sure of that. Just nipping over the 200 Ks. Back on for that, 178 as you can see. 20 Ks slow, but beautifully directed. Well, it's immaculate serving so far.
Yes, the little dead volley into open territory, and there's so much court to cover, even with long legs. No dice on this court. Bounce is low. Good true bounce, but it's low.
Yep. Third ace. 3 points each. And maybe just one return is going to make the difference here.
Yes, that's going to stand out like a diamond on a finger.
Who's got it in them? Well, so often in situations like that, you back Boris.
Boris, he's in a world of his own. He's tapping his shoes as if he's on clay.
Certainly the aces are coming to Rosset. His fourth. Yes, well done. Takes advantage of a second serve, and Rosset pounces.
It was a pretty good half volley too by Becker, but Rosset going for the inside-out forehand. I think Becker had the one down the line a bit more covered, and even though he's more vulnerable on the forehand volley, obviously a good choice by Rosset.
Nine aces now for Boris. But Rosset, whose first serve has been awesome, now has two serves, and he could finish off the first set here. 5-4. Oh, don't believe it. That's the power of the Becker return for you in Rosset's head. Five all. Oh, well played. What a volley. So it's set point for Rosset, his first. Remember, Becker's had three already in the 10th game and couldn't make any of them.
Thank you.
Oh, no. How could I?
You can see it all so clearly. The walk to the chair, a winner of the set.
Let's go back and play that again. Becker did well, actually, to get the serve back.
Astonishing.
Six all. So now Becker has his fourth set point. Just in. Remarkable.
Well, I said a lot early on that there's just something about Becker that makes Rosset play above himself. And there's no doubt, as we can see here, two backhands really hit with precision in such tense situations.
So Rosset has a second set point. Wouldn't you know it? (9-8) and a fifth set point for the number 5 seed.
Well, I think the longest tiebreak on the tour this year, something like 16-14, played between Muster and Ferreira in the States. You've got the feeling that this one could go on forevermore.
Yes, they seem locked together. Whatever one does, the other does, whether it's amazing returns, blinding serves, double faults. Nine each. But I don't think Becker's going to miss a forehand like that. Or if he does, he's going to scream the roof off. Sixth set point. Oh, beautiful. And isn't it ironic that the forehand, which is his strength, Rosset, lets him down at such a crucial stage when he's made so many good backhands. Rosset gets a warning. Becker gets the first set. Rosset hammered his racket down then. And Dano Leconto, the man, remember, who threw Andre Agassi out at Indianapolis, who's not going to take anything. And he gives Rosset a warning, but Becker takes the set. Back with this for the second half. Well, we thought it might be one blinding return that made the difference. In the end, it was one crass error. Becker wins only his second tiebreak against Rosset. Will he be able to use that and use it to spring an early lead in the second set and close it out?
Done. Thank you.
Four shots, but all of them extraordinary.
Great quality, and I think it just shows with Rosset diving for this forehand volley that he may have lost that first set, but he's not down and out. A lot of good tennis to go into the memory bank for the second set. Now that's more like the Rosset backhand. Not that he plays everyone like that, of course not. First set backhand, unrecognizable.
That's the backhand Becker's looking Rosset to play. Sixth ace. Excellent stuff from Becker. As if he's been lifted.
Well, it would be typical, wouldn't it, with no breaks in the first set and the tiebreaker going on so long that suddenly
2 break points. And there are 2 backhands right out of that first set. Lovely little leg break he played earlier on. Break point number 2. Well, if you meant it to be that good a volley, congratulations.
I'm looking forward to the press conference after the match when you, Simon, say to Rosset, what about that leg break you played?
Well, if he wins, but not if he loses. Might be a very different reaction. At the moment, it's going Becker's way, but Rosset getting out of that particular hole. Well, Boris is ready to go, but Rosset just making sure he might have got some new footwear on. Didn't watch him at the change round, but the way he's walking, I think perhaps he has. Just testing it out early on before he got into this stride. And what a stride. Love 1, second set.
Well, he's used that serve quite a bit. It's not strange. You can see the speed there, and that's one of the reasons why Rosset was able to get to it, having picked it. Whereas that was more of the Harold Larwood variety. Try telling that to Rosset.
Yes, go on.
Well, Rosset had to make his move quickly here because he knew that Becker was going to give this a good lick. It had to come with pace. And because he moved, Becker in the end didn't have to hit it with that amount of speed.
The string went there. He's moving. No. Just thought he might have broken a string there, but 1-1 it is. Becker serving with some power there. Sorry for the delay, and you motorsport fans and perhaps some sumo fans who tuned in early. But obviously, we will stay with this live match until the end. Hope you enjoy it. But unfortunately, tennis being one of those sports, or it's the worst sport to predict as far as length of time is concerned. Can't even begin to tell you when it will finish. Not for 20-25 minutes, at least. And if Rosset wins his set, it's going to be at least an hour and a quarter. Seventh ace.
Yes, the one blessing is that if it goes on like this, it mightn't be that long. On the other hand, it could be quite monotonous. What I mean by that is total serve domination.
Trying to change the angle, paying the price for doing so. It's Rosset then who leads. Christopher and I have been going since 2 o'clock. We are in need of a drink, but not one for now. What we have is an absorbing struggle here. It's two mighty men, Becker and Rosset. First 15 games with serve. Becker, the winner of the first set, trails 1-2 in the second. Yes, well done.
Well, he got hold of this forehand pretty well, but Becker really had that comfortably within his reach. Last 4 service games, Becker, since he was break points down, has not lost more than 1 point a game on his serve.
Serve right onto the line. Becker's second double.
It was in the second set against Stich that Becker served 5 doubles. Quite a bit more than he had before or after.
Now he moves into double figures on the aces count. Moving sweetly. Yeah, the serve is as good as ever at the moment. That's bad news for Rosset.
Yes, the one comforting factor for Rosset is that he's serving first. Otherwise, it really would be backs against the wall, rear guard action.
One break really does look unlikely, but crucial if it happens.
Fast surface, fast conditions, fast balls.
tough luck. Becker always the master in the rally. Rosset a bit like a puppet on a string.
Beautiful anticipation here by Becker. Again, right at the end of his reach, but he'd done well to get across there. Because Rosset had the option of hitting it anywhere. Becker looking up to the screen in admiration.
Well done. Becker fooled.
Yes, it seemed to me at least the logical shot, but seeing it again there, Rosset actually had time to do anything with it.
First
200 kilometers an hour, that'll solicit slightly more applause.
8th ace.
Certainly was a let. I don't know what, perhaps Rosset thought it was the sound it makes as it breaks through the sound barrier.
That was 205. Unless the radar guns had something to drink during the last break, but certainly we're getting some electric serving from Marc Rosset. 3-2. 205 kilometers an hour. Greg Rosetsky yesterday in Beijing set a new world record. 139 miles an hour. I think it was 229 Ks. A new world record serve. He had it before with Marc Philippoussis jointly, but he's now on his own. Some 2 miles an hour faster than that previous record. He moved very, very well for it, but just too much on the cross court. Not too many points going against serve now for him.
No. As expected, perhaps. And you get into a state where, of course, you don't have the rhythm on the return because the serving is good. But when you do get it, you feel you've got to rush it.
Becker really got the snap back.
Yes, you can't imagine his wrist hurts when he hits the serve like this.
Oh, well played. And even on second serve now, he's winning the points very quickly. Another love game. 3 each.
Yes, one love game each. Strangely enough, the first love game that Becker's had in the match. But generally not losing many points.
So move towards an hour and a half and still no breaks of serve.
No, please.
No excuse.
First and 5.
It's number 9 from Rosset.
Because he has such an enormous advantage. It's like standing on the umpire's chair and serving. Can't imagine how someone like Chang must feel playing
Yes.
Rosset. Bad enough playing Becker.
Thought the serve was wide.
Yes, must have been. I thought it was long too. And you clutch at straws, of course, with serving like this.
That was pretty ruthless. So the game's whistling by nearly as quickly as the serves. That's what he likes. Big serve, short return, take aim, fire. It's 4-3. So 19 games now, and no breaks of serve. And no break points in this set since the opening service game. Yes, he's got talent down there as well.
How to steal the show.
Very, very good. But can he make a return?
Well, if he uses his head a bit more, drops his racket, and kicks it back.
Just a bit overhit. I wonder if Becker feels that his thunder was stolen a little there. Remember, Becker likes his football as well. Can do a little bit of that, perhaps not quite as impressively as Rosset.
Might have broken the ice.
Yeah, we're going to get 3 successive breaks of serve now. Perhaps not. Probably pick that up. Rosset saying, why are you waiting for to overrule? Do you think if Becker mimicking the footwork? Rosset intimating it maybe ought to be 15 centimeters long before Daniel Lecanto is going to get in.
Yes, for the record, I thought the serve was good. And the call was good.
Oh, wonderful. Boris kept his calm despite the antics. Circus stuff here from Rosset. ace number 12. 4 games each.
Yes, terrific contrast, wasn't it? The ace preceded by the soft touches. Sometimes lose sight of the fact that these big men do have deft skills as well. But of course it's power that generally wins for them, which is why they continue to use it.
Rosset now in double figures. Now, will it be a clean set?
Yes, Becker served 4 in the game yesterday, but it is one of those long games. Well, you want to watch where Becker's standing now. Rosset may go for the underhand serve.
Actually, he turned it right onto his forehand. It's 5-4. Dibble. There have been no breaks of serve, but it has a certain amount of character, this game, and it was emphasised by that last point of Becker's little ploy. Serving now to stay in the set at 4-5. But I don't think he's shaking in his shoes.
Well, 2 points a game really would be a great bonus for Rosset. 7 successive games. Becker's lost no more than 1 point a game.
It's like radar now, the serve. 13 aces.
Stefan Oberer, Rosset's coach. And I think he needs Oberer out there, really. And I doubt whether the two of them could get this serve back.
Yeah, staggering serving. But it's not just awesome power like it is with Rosset. It's brilliantly directed, superbly varied. And Rosset can't do a thing with it.
And that heaviness that the players talk about.
It's a little ungainly there.
The last time he lost the first point, he came up with an ace. So Becker's real chance here is a miss first serve.
Not even close to the second serve. A third double. Suddenly it's love 30. Now Rosset is going to have to relax and find the rhythm. played.
Well, two really almost instinctive shots. This is a true Becker speciality. Lovely shoulder turn. Really fooled anybody, except that's where he tends to hit him.
3 break points. If he gets one of them, he'll be serving for the match. Ace number 13.
Yes, watching Becker take his stance there, he was edging to his left as if he thought it was coming straight down the middle.
Oh, he's got what he wants, the second serve. Approved of a return. And for the first time in nearly 2 hours, we have a break of serve. Laid it into it. And just the top of the tape. Goes against him. 6-5. So Becker serves for a place in the semi-final. Unbroken so far. No break points against him this set. He's served like a god. Fourteenth ace. So good. Three match points then for Boris Becker. Oh, yes, clinical stuff. 7-6, 7-5. Becker into the first semi-final since Wimbledon. Or since the tournament at Queen's where she won, followed by the Wimbledon misfortune where his wrist went, and the wrist now seems a thing of the past.
I can't believe it's hurting anymore. Be interesting to see what he or to hear what he has to say. Two big men really with big hearts, and a mighty applause for Rosset as he reads the arena. He had his chances in that first set, no doubt about that.
So that's what we have for you tomorrow. The semi-finals here in Vienna. Arno Birch of France against Jan Simmerink of Holland, followed by Boris against the winner of the match coming up next. We don't have time for you. We've had, what, 6.5 hours worth of tennis, so surely even those of you watching now have had enough. So it's Boris against Ivanisevic or Martin. The Japanese Grand Prix next after the Sports Centre with Gareth Evans. But Boris is through to the semi-final, and the organisers will be absolutely thrilled with that. And who on earth can beat him if he serves like that? Maybe he's going to win the title here. So it's 2 o'clock. I hope you'll be back with Fro and I, 1 o'clock in the UK. From now, goodbye from Vienna.